Florida, the state of Florida versus Dietrich Williams. Verdict, count one. We, the jury, find as follows as to the defendant, Dietrich Williams, in this case. The defendant is guilty of murder in the first degree as charged in the indictment. Count two. We, the jury, find as follows as to the defendant, Dietrich Williams, in this case. The defendant is guilty of armed robbery as charged in the indictment. Count one. We, the jury, find as follows as to the defendant, Michael Boatwright, in this case. The defendant is guilty of murder in the first degree as charged in the indictment. During the course of the crime committed, did the defendant, Michael Boatwright, actually possess a firearm? Yes. During the course of the crime committed, did the defendant, Michael Boatwright, actually discharge a firearm? Yes. During the course of the crime committed, did the defendant, Michael Boatwright, actually inflict death to Jose Onfroy as a result of discharging a firearm in his possession? Yes. Count two. We, the jury, find as follows as to the defendant, Michael Boatwright, in this case. The defendant is guilty of armed robbery as charged in the indictment. During the course of the crime committed, did the defendant, Michael Boatwright, actually possess a firearm? Yes. During the course of the crime committed, did the defendant, Michael Boatwright, actually discharge a firearm? Yes. During the course of the crime committed, did the defendant, Michael Boatwright, actually inflict death to Jose Onfroy as a result of discharging a firearm in his possession? Yes. Verdict, count one. We, the jury, find as follows as to the defendant, Trayvon Newsom, in this case. The defendant is guilty of murder in the first degree as charged in the indictment. During the course of the crime committed, did the defendant, Trayvon Newsom, actually possess a firearm? Yes. Count two. We, the jury, find as follows as to the defendant, Trayvon Newsom, in this case. The defendant is guilty of armed robbery as charged in the indictment.
Check it out now. God is good, man. God is good. Now, ladies and gentlemen, in a very emotional trial that lasted way too long, seen all the theatrics happen, seen these guys employ their lawyers to try to place blame on everybody but themselves, and also watched the jury who deliberated for way too long for a verdict that was inevitable. I can now say that the killers of xxxtentacion have officially been found guilty of murder and armed robbery, okay? The verdict just came down minutes ago, something that I was waiting for personally. You know, just say Onfroy was a friend of mine. Makes it a lot more personal. And tragically, over 5 years ago, he was killed at a South Florida motorcycle dealership. He was killed by 4 people. Michael Boatwright, Trayvon Newsom, Dietrich Williams, and also Robert Allen. Robert Allen eventually cooperated, and he told on the other 3. The other 3 basically got the verdict read today. And the verdict is that these guys, on their own recognizance, planned to rob X, and it eventually turned into a murder. Okay? Pretty much their only defense was that the necklace that apparently X had on had DNA that didn't belong to them, and they were claiming it could be other people. But obviously, the person who cooperated made everything make sense. I hope this kind of puts an end and kind of closes the chapter. I know the family of X was in the courtroom awaiting this verdict for days. I know the fans have been waiting for this verdict, and I know some people, you know, even though he's gone, he's definitely not forgotten. One of the greatest artists of our generation and time. I hope, you know, the people who love X could now begin to heal. His music will live forever. His memories will live forever. But these guys, man, they'll forever live with the memory of taking the life of someone over just some petty cash, and they'll face those consequences for the rest of their lives, okay? Get a comment, make sure you guys like them, subscribe. X, we love you. I'm out.